Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Greenhouse All Stars recap and discussion. Edmund, happy birthday. How are you today?
Hey, I'm good.
That's it.
I'm doing so amazingly splendid. Like, I love myself. It's my birthday. It's my day. No one else's.
So you found out an interesting fun fact today about your birthday.
Oh,
What
and
was that?
yes. So we're celebrating today because since it's Edmund's Day, they decided to make it National Espresso Martini Day on my birthday. Cheers.
Cheers. So this week we have the one, the only, the crackhead, the one that will make moves everywhere and not give a fuck. Brody, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's Edmund's birthday and he's looking like 30, so it's great.
Yeah, I'm turning 35, not 25.
It's okay. I look like 42, so it's fine. We all go downhill over time, right?
Yeah,
But happy
I'm on
birthday.
the verge of death. Thank you. I'm gonna be a bit of a dramatic menace today, just so you guys know.
And that's
So
any
just bear
different
with
from
me.
normal?
Uh, not her coming in with all the shade already.
Right. She's a shady
It is what
queen.
it is.
Let's keep that same energy, Brody.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. So, Brody, amazing run on season two. I dare would call it the Brody Show, season two. Robbed in the end. It's in my opinion. Great gameplay. One of the best players I've ever seen. I've told you that already. What was the pressure like going in to All Stars with a bunch of people you knew, the legacy you had, your first run? Tell us about it.
I don't think the pressure was any more than like a normal season. I think the difficulty of it was the perceived threat and kind of the conversations that people had before the game about certain players. So I think I really was hurt by it, and I'll get into it more like throughout the podcast. But Taylor's told me after kind of the initial airing of it that 8 of the 18 people said like, "This is the first person we need to get out. No way we're working with him ever." And so when that happens, it's like I kind of knew something to that effect would happen, not to that extreme per se, but it makes it really difficult to go in and play a game that you're wanting to play. I feel like you kind of get pushed into playing the game you feel like you have to play.
So you didn't want to, you didn't want to, you wanted to lean into it.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing in these loops games and any like LRG in general is, and it's been talked about by like Shane and Shakira and Thomas and a few others, but perception in the game is reality. Whether you think it is true or not, it doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
Whatever's perceived is going to be what actually ends up mattering. And I was perceived as this person coming in who was like, this is who we don't want to work with. This is the person who we need to get out immediately. And so that's kind of why you see me do what I do in that first round, which is a hot mess, because I knew that if I don't do something that round, I'm probably going home in one of those first two. If I'm not, I think if I don't have fly trap, I'm 90% chance I'm fly trapped. And I think it's probably the right move.
So, what?
I think it's probably the right move if they do it in that case as well.
Yeah. So, how did you decide on Maddie, the night one fly trap? I mean, I
I
think
didn't
I
want to
know,
work
but
with her.
I just want you to talk about it.
I mean, so she really frustrated me up in I know you've talked about it on the podcast before, but like the upstairs room where there's that massive conversation because I understood the season 4 people like grouping together and like fighting back, and then when Maddie like I think she didn't really argue with me, but when she kind of gave any pushback, I was like, you know, I'm the one about to get this power. Why would you fight back at all? I don't want to work with you already, and now you're giving me reason to actively get you out. That was one aspect of it. Another was I did think she was close with a lot of people that I kind of wanted to work with potentially. And I thought she was someone who might get dragged to the end and not win. And so I was like, if I can get rid of someone like that early and keep as many big threats around, that's only going to help me.
Okay. So the big thing this season with you was you went on an insane competition run. You
And I
were
let people
safe
know.
almost every week. And then the first week that you are not in power, the world comes crashing down. So was your strategy just to comp these? Did you just want safety because you didn't want to have to worry? Speak about that a little bit.
Yeah, so it was really safety. I didn't really care about the flowers as much as I felt like I couldn't if I was up for nomination, I felt like I was going to get nominated. And I don't think you can build solid relationships well when you're up for elimination. Like you can make some inroads and make like some relationships, but you're never going to be anybody's top person or even their top three, I think, from the block. I just don't think that's a realistic way of playing. And so my whole goal was if I stay in power or have immunity, it allows me to have honest conversations with people without feeling like they're constantly lying to me and having to kind of beat around the bush of, well, you might be going home. Because I think if you're the Brady of the season and you're on the block every other week, you can't figure out who your real allies are. And I think he proved that throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to avoid that.
You didn't want to become a Pawn Star?
I didn't want to become Brady, which I think that's everybody's wish.
Okay, so we see that you kind of have some tension with Ross in the beginning, and then you guys bury the hatchet right away and have a pretty closely working relationship throughout the season. I want you to talk about that relationship a little bit, and then I kind of want you to talk about basically when he throws you under and the whole explosion happens.
Yeah, so Ross was one of those people coming to the game that I knew would probably be a similar threat level, although I knew he was probably better socially than I am because he has more tact behind it, where I'm kind of blunt and aggressive. I think he knows when a good lie is worthwhile, and I'm just not gonna, I'm either gonna lie really aggressively or not lie for my detriment more times than not. But so I didn't really want to work with him because I thought he could play a similar game to me, but probably not better, but more respected from a jury standpoint, I guess. And so I really wanted him out. And then I really I wanted to work with really Gavin and Dylan early on. Like those were two people I wanted to work with going in. I thought they would have a big enough threat level that I wouldn't be the obvious pick always, I guess. And so whenever Gavin goes home first, and it's kind of known at that point that Gavin's going home, I didn't want to take out another season 4 necessarily because I had made that promise. I mean, I made several promises that who cares? That promise in a game means nothing because it's a game. And but anyway, uh, so I wanted to get him out, but then I was like, I don't really want to break this line of trust I've been telling, and this is the narrative I've been pitching for 2 hours at this point. And
Thanks, Brady.
so I was making this like narrative that I'm not going to vote out someone from season 4 if someone from season 4 goes, and so I don't take out Ross. Prop. I would like to say I regret it, but I really don't because I don't think I make it as far day 2 without him. And then I kind of make the decision. This is someone who is also desperate because I was fairly desperate at that point to just get an alliance member. And so I made Brady's really trying in this chat. But yeah, so I just wanted to make an alliance member and Ross was equally desperate. So I think we grouped up and I think we both knew we couldn't go to the end with each other. And I think Ross just kind of beat me to the punch and I was mad by it, not so much from the Ross standpoint. I mean, I was frustrated because he beat me to it more than me thinking it was a bad move for him. I was gonna take Ross to like top five probably. Like where I wanted to do was kind of replay season two, where I had Ross as my Patrick, where he was someone who's a really good player and has connections, but I wanted to ping pong back and forth, taking out one from each side at that top nine spot until Ross kind of had to rely upon me and had to basically make me take him to the end if he wanted to get there. And so when he turned, I was just annoyed that I'd gotten got because it had been a while and it never feels good to get beat at a game you think you're decently good at. And I got beat.
How devastated were you that you didn't make the end this time?
I thought going into this game, like 0.1% chance I make top three and like maybe a 1% chance I make top four. So I thought I was like locked in 16th place going into the season. I was like, that is my spot. I'm gonna get 16th. Instead, we let Dylan go because he started telling people they weren't all stars. Which, come to find out, half of them aren't. Are you watching the season? But he happened to be bright. You just can't say that in the game. So
you had a unique experience this season playing with your wife. Were you truly not wanting to work with Claire at all? Or was that just like a facade in the game?
No, there was no chance in hell I was ever going to work with Claire. I was going to let her think, like, yeah, we're good enough to, like, keep each other around. And then I never was going to help her in any way, shape, or form. Because as soon as I make a decision for me and not for Claire, Claire is going to pin that on me and turn the whole cast against me. I mean, you also saw how she can explode and really kind of not even turn people, but just drag other people down in the process if she really wants to. And I mean, she tried to do it to me. The only reason it didn't work is because she wasn't in the same house as me. And so my whole thought process was at some point, I'm going to have to turn on Claire, even if we are really close allies. I'm going to have to make a decision for Brody. And if I make that and Claire's not happy, I'm dead. And so it was better to just distance myself early and ask for forgiveness outside the game.
So, going off that, you were one of the people to catch on to Claire's crocodile tears. When did you see the shift when they went from crocodile tears to real tears, or were they all crocodile?
Oh, I think at the end they were definitely real, but it didn't matter. It didn't change the way I was gonna play. Like, why would I give somebody a seed who's going home who's not gonna give it back to like if Claire takes that seed and look, day of, I truly didn't remember giving her the one back like night one. So I really thought like I screwed Claire over and but like she's never helping me. Why would I help someone who's not helping me? She's made other alliances and inroads with people. I mean, she burned a lot on the way out, but I mean,
Because you're the
I
man,
wasn't wrong.
Brody. Because you're the man. Act like a man.
Think I did. I stood my ground.
Okay. So, sorry. Yes, Christian. Hi, welcome. I see, Brody, you are telling people to come in here. Never mind. I thought you were collecting the Brady haters.
That's really strong
come
from
into the
16th
chat.
place. 16th place really coming in swinging, huh?
Ooh.
Girl,
So
that was
Brody,
gonna be
you came to fight. You
But
came
it
to fight
wasn't.
today, huh?
I pick a fight every day.
Okay, last couple questions. What was your biggest regret from the season?
I think you should go get that. I think you should go get that, Edmund.
Shut up.
I think you should go get that right now.
Go get it.
I don't have pants on.
So this may or may not be one of my bits. So obviously it's Edmund's birthday, so I had to get him something on the stream. waits for Edmund.
Oh, I can't say that on stream.
Show the audience what we got.
Oh, what'd you get?
Just the one thing. You'll know what it is.
My God. Welcome to my unboxing. If I can get this damn bag open.
Hey, Claire.
Hey, Claire. Okay. Sour Punch Bites. Sorry, Claire. We'll give you your moment in a second. Some sugar-free Red Bull. For my vodka Red Bull. No, it's a National Espresso Martini Day. Oh, it was upside down. And a cake!
Happy birthday, Edmund.
Thanks. Brody, did you...
Happy birthday.
Huh?
We're not that close.
I asked Brody if he pitched in.
No, he did not.
I wasn't asked.
He's fake.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Anyways,
I'm the next bit. Just wait till that doorbell rings again.
Oh, okay.
He's in your little conference room next door.
Edmund, I'm gonna be honest.
Perfect.
I thought you just didn't put a new battery in your fire alarm and it was going off. And I was like, oh, he really just letting that thing chirp.
I live in the accessible apartment building, so it's for the hard of hearing, which I am half deaf. So I'm not kidding. Anyways, moving on. Sorry. What was your biggest regret from the game, Brody?
Biggest regret is the Monopoly round. If I knew Brady was gonna just go absolutely crazy, I would have just let him take the cactus, let him save me, because I think he does save me if I let him take it. Because I think that was really where I broke that trust with Brady. And I think me trusting Brady was one of the biggest mistakes, because why would I ever do that? Like, that was just a stupid move to begin with, and I, for some reason, stuck with it. But I think if I keep Brady... I think if I keep Brady on my side and don't save Ross and Patrick, I think it allows Abrielle to easily side with me, which I think saves me from going out where I went out. And I think the game looks very different. Yeah, I think that whole Monopoly round, I just played it poorly. There kept being these conversations about that, specifically from Shane, who kept telling me, like, hey, they're worried about the three, and he was implying that it was me, Ross, and Patrick, but I think the real three they were worried about was Ross, Patrick, and Meredith. And so that miscommunication, I think, led to me kind of panic reacting and just saving all three of us. I think the cactus was the right move, and I was going to want to go after it no matter what, but I don't think I should have saved Ross and Patrick. I think that's the round I let Patrick go, and it makes Ross rely on me more, if that makes sense.
Would you say you were blind to the loyalties of the boys?
Not as blind as you, Stevie Wonder. Look at those glasses.
Ah! Okay. Ooh.
This podcast is gonna be the
the
biggest viewed.
I think that's the perfect segue into Brody's little segment, shall we? Actually, okay, one last question, Brody. Describe your Greenhouse All-Stars experience in one word.
Busted.
Just like that mug. Yep. Okay. Moving on to Brody's little bet.
Yeah, so y'all have been asking me all of these questions about my game, but I kind of want to take a moment to ask you two some questions about the people left in the game. So let's see who's up first to figure out what question is going to be asked about them.
They're in alphabetical order, so do as you will.
So Abrielle. So I love Abrielle outside the game, but I want to know from you two, do y'all think Abrielle thinks she's playing a good game?
Oh,
in her head, like, does she think? Yes, I think so.
Yeah. And do you think that's the right read from her?
Currently, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say how she's kind of almost fully on the bottom? No.
She's
but I
scraping
see
from the bottom,
vision.
but I see the vision. Yeah, so
Yes.
I'm sticking with her until she
Wins or goes home.
wins or goes home. Yeah. I think she thinks she has a really good read on the game. She just doesn't have a ton of capital, but I think she's slowly building on it.
Okay, we'll leave it at that because I'm gonna have a lot to discuss later in the episode, but I'm gonna hold on to that.
Okay.
This is purely
Not too
questions for
much on
you.
Abrielle now, though.
Not
too
in
much
this
on
chat.
Abrielle.
No.
Okay.
Do y'all think Brady's mustache works?
Yes.
I actually hold on. Sorry, because Christian brought up Abrielle's Chicken Little again. I love that she said the sky was falling in this previous episode. I was just like, okay, it all came full circle. Brady's mustache. When she's cleaned up.
I think it works for him. I'm gonna be honest. I think it might be one of the only things he has going for him this game.
Oh. Okay, but hold on. You can't keep dragging Brady when he survived more times on the block than you did. So
surviving on the block just means you're not a big threat and not a good player. Jessica survived on the block too. Y'all think she's the best?
Oh, that's mother.
I never, not too much. I never said all that. I will say though, I think Brady played a lot better this season.
Yeah, I have a lot.
But
I have a lot to say about Brady because I do think he was the most surprising player to me this season. Yes,
why?
Christian.
You expected nothing from him?
No, because I think he played a really good game and just went about it incorrectly. I think like if he plays this style game with a less aggressive strategic cast, it probably wins. Honestly,
I agree.
Yeah.
But so I have a lot to say about Brady. But
Brady, yeah, we'll get into Brady. I just think Brady needs to cook a little bit longer. I think he needs a couple more games under his belt, and then I think Brady will be able to fine tune his play style. Okay, next.
Brandon. Can y'all name 5 things he's done this game?
No.
You know my thoughts on Brandon. I've been over that with you.
I mean, his social conversations are great. I mean, I will say from like playing in the games with him, he has a way of making you feel like you're closer than I think you ever really are with Brandon.
For sure.
And he's willing to bob and weave more than most players, which I think if you're going to just create social capital all game, you have to be willing to do that.
Yeah, I think he's good at creating the social capital, but he doesn't get aggressive enough strategically for me.
Yeah,
he doesn't push moves enough for me when he needs to be.
Got to be capable.
Matthew, any thoughts on Brandon?
I have no thoughts on Brandon. But I have thoughts on Mother Jessica.
Okay, yeah, question, Brody.
How long would you leave Jessica with your child? alone.
I'd go on a week-long vacation. They're in good hands. She's like the fun, like little like nanny that's like, hey girls, like let's go shopping.
I mean, yeah, my baby's gonna be eating Sonic all week, but
is that any different than it would be now?
No. So she's good. In terms of actually taking care of her, I think she's the type to like throw the kid an iPad and say like go sit in the corner. So I'd say 10 minutes.
I think Jessica is the perfect 4-hour babysitter, like date night babysitter. Like those kids are gonna have an absolute blast. But if you're relying on consistent feeding, you might be in trouble.
I agree with that, Brady, but we'll get into that again. We still have to talk about these people further out, so I'm going to save some thoughts.
Lily. this was the only person I really struggled up to come up with a question with because she's given me nothing all season. I'm gonna be honest. I've been searching, and I'm just blank. So no question here. Next, Meredith. I love Meredith. How do you think Meredith would react to getting a C in school?
So actually, what happened once is I was in 5th grade or 6th grade, and there was this guy who got a B plus on his test, and he fully had a breakdown and went into the hallway and banged his head over and over against the brick wall. I think Meredith would do that as well.
I think I'd have to agree. She's giving, if I get anything less than a 99, it's over for me.
Meredith very much gives like valedictorian. That's the right word, right?
Yeah.
It
Clearly,
is,
I'm
yeah.
never the valedictorian, as we can tell, I think. But
What gave it away? The hood and glasses on a Friday morning, afternoon.
Yep, it's morning.
It's
drinking my
morning.
coffee.
Morning for you, afternoon for most.
Yeah. Okay, next.
Patrick. Patrick's another one that I think he's just my question for him is actually more game related because I didn't have much to roast him on. Do y'all really think he has the time left in the game to do something? I know we're going to talk about this more. Or do you think he waited around too long?
To do something successful, like that's game winning?
Exactly. They're talking about game winning, make a move, make a stand.
No. Like,
I think
it should have been the end of day 2. He should have done something if he really wanted to solidify a game winning move.
See, I kind of disagree. I think if this plan he's been making comes to fruition, I think the Ross and Meredith and Patrick like trio has been seen as such a strong trio throughout all of day 2 and then all of day 3 up to this point that I think breaking it up and being willing to turn on your closest allies would be huge.
I think that's the problem with Patrick. I think that's why he's always the bridesmaid, is because, like I said before, I just don't think he has close enough connections to do that with the other people. But also, who's to say those people won't just flip right back on him? Like, I don't think he can make a successful flip and stay with that group of people if he flips. Like, I think they would still be willing to cut him if they need to.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think kind of like you're saying, if he's able to make that flip, I think he's right at 5th place,
right.
4th place. Because I think even the other side would then realize, like, oh, this is the strongest person in the game. Why would we take him to the end?
Exactly. Especially if he's the one to make that move. What do you think, Matthew?
Goes back to his slide, so everyone knows that we're talking about him. I don't know. I think he should have made a move the end of night 2 because we're kind of at the point where like everyone except for I guess Ross in that group is talking about like, oh, like maybe we should flip on the group. And it's just like you're doing it because you're afraid to like that you can't beat them in the end. So it's like you're doing it at the last possible minute, and it's like not game winning for me. It's giving like I am not confident in my own game, so that's why I have to get rid of the people I was with. So then everything that we did that I basically just rode the coattail for is now my move. It's giving that.
I think Patrick serves unt, but not cunt.
Yeah, you know, Patrick could do a little more, and maybe he would have a shot. But I think if anyone's gonna successfully flip from that group,
Miss Mother Meredith
would be Miss Mother Meredith. If to have the social capital to after the flip not immediately go home next, I think it would be Meredith.
And then for her to outrightly tell her closest allies, I'm creating another group.
I'm having this plan of a potential flip just in case I want to.
That is, we'll get into it more, but that is a wild thing. I cannot imagine doing it and feeling comfortable doing
I love it.
We'll
I
get
love
into
it.
it later because
We'll
she's
get into
so
it
real
later,
for
yeah.
that. But we have one more person.
Yeah, Ross. Do y'all think he thinks his hair looks good, or do y'all think he knows it looks like shit?
I just think he needs to stop using the 3-in-1.
Yeah, if we got like a different shampoo and conditioner that's not in the same bottle, like
Mm-hmm.
it would be a little
Yes.
better. And maybe like don't wear the hat all the time, because
Oh, I think he should wear the hat. The more you see the hair, the more you think he should wear the hat.
What do you think about Ross's hair?
yeah,
I'm glad it's gone now. I'll say that.
Are you glad
We
Christian's is gone?
don't take the leap, okay, Christian? Just because his is bad doesn't mean yours is better. It just means they're both bad.
Mhm.
His is worse hair. Christian's style choice was worse, in my opinion.
The middle part.
It was, yeah, not my favorite.
Okay. So let's get into this round. We first have the greenhouse competition after Brady's quick downfall. Or not Brady, Brody's quick downfall.
It's coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. But we have a classic competition of time betting. Brody, would you have liked to have competed in this competition?
Yeah, eat this shit up.
He has
This is
before.
Yeah, and here's the thing that drives me nuts about this competition. How are these people still so bad at it? Like it has been on every season of every single thing. It's not about what you can actually do. It's about getting in the middle till you're the last three and then just going into the greenhouse. Like I don't understand why is Ross betting 12 for the number of bottle flips? Like don't be ridiculous. Unless he's throwing it, in which case honestly it kind of worked for him, like looking at the end of the episode, but still so frustrating that people don't know how to play it.
Yeah, I
How did
love
you feel
watching this
about the
challenge. Oh,
tie?
not her
How did you
cutting me.
feel about the tie between what was it, Meredith and Patrick? And then
Yeah,
like if you were Ross in that moment, would you be so pissed because you had double the chance of getting out?
absolutely. I would have been like, no, Taylor, it should be if one of them loses, I am safe. And if both of them do it, then I'm gone.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But at the same time, nah, it worked out for him. But yes, I would have been pissed because my ass is fighting at that point. I mean, if I stayed the round before, I'm doing it. I mean, I don't think there's a world in which I stay, but whatever.
Meredith racks up some seeds during this competition. She now has 10, which is wild to me this late in the game.
Crazy.
Ridiculous. And she's acting like it's a bad thing. And she's like, oh, it's so bad. I don't want all these seeds. I need to like use it to gain more like social capital. Like you are probably the most connected person in the game and have the most seeds. Why would you give them away? Like if someone ever comes for you, you can outbid any collection by yourself.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. Like when
And
the
then you
episode
still have
started and it showed like in the intro that she had like 10 or whatever, I was like, who is letting her have all of these? And then you see like Patrick just kind of sitting there being like, you have 6. Oh wait, no, you have 8. Oh wait, you have 10. Like what the fuck? Like that shit was
Well,
hilarious.
and it's crazy because I think Patrick's the only one at this point who's noticed that she has more than like I think everyone's still viewing Abrielle as like the seed queen.
Hmm.
And I and we'll talk about this a little more, but I think Meredith's biggest downfall so far in the game has been her inability to keep her mouth shut, which is when she's in a good position. And so like why is she just like she keeps talking about like, oh, I keep getting all these seeds, like I need to start giving them away. Like just keep your mouth shut, no one knows.
well, Patrick knows. And one thing about Patrick, he's gonna pull out that little notepad and write down some seeds.
I'm
You
glad
always
he's
see him
doing
in the
something.
corner. Like you always see Patrick in the corner during a conversation, writing some notes on his little notepad. So
If nothing else,
anyway,
I draw a crowd for y'all. This is viewership is through the
For
roof this
sure.
episode.
No, it's because it's my birthday. They're all here to celebrate me.
Duh.
But so Meredith. Wait, who won?
Patrick, Brandon, and Meredith.
Okay, so Patrick, Brandon, and Meredith enter the greenhouse. How do you guys feel?
I knew this was going to happen last week. I said it's so stupid if Abrielle and Brady are both in the 2 spots in the greenhouse that you can't compete next week, because then it's just going to be that whole side competing against like 1 or 2 people. So like good on Brandon for like getting a flower and being able to have like some nominating power, but like I was just like yawn because like the Power Alliance is in power once again, and then like with the Green Thumb, they're probably just going to be in power again next week. So I was just excited to see that there could be some toss up of a nom on each side.
And that Brandon drove me nuts this episode because I'm watching him and he's like, I just want to make sure we're all happy with the selections. Like, no, you're at top 8. It's not about being happy with the selections. You don't need to get Patrick and Meredith's input. Like, you have actively admitted you're going against them, and like, yeah, you're trying this side thing with Meredith, but like, you're going against these people. Stand up and make the move, and just put your foot down. And you know what? Are you playing for like 4th place and 5th place, or are you playing to win? Because I'm tired of like everyone but those 3 playing for a better placement in the game. Because you know what? Jury is jury. Honestly, anyone besides the top 3 is equal in my book. Like, you're out. Doesn't matter.
No, I totally agree. I think everyone is just playing to get to the next round when people aren't thinking about the end game and what they're going to pitch. This is all stars, baby, and it's giving some stars. Like, who said that? Round 1, Dylan. Yep, I stand with Dylan. This is very much giving some stars. No shade. But yeah, I'm so sick of the group think, and everything needs to be hashed out, and everyone needs to sit down around a round table and decide something all together. Make your own moves.
Why are we going into day 3 and every round has to be, we can't piss off the group? Baby, that should have been day 2. Like, half of day 2. Not even the full day 2. Like, especially going into single digits. Why are we just like, let's make everyone happy, even though it's very obvious there's a group right here and we're kind of the outsiders, but now everyone's trying to make their way in. Like,
when then everyone comes into day 3 with this, like, you see all these entrance interviews for day 3. It's like, this is the day I've been waiting for. This is when we're going to be aggressive. This is where I make my move. And then Ross makes a move through Brady. And then everyone's like, oh, this was such a great day. I feel like I've made my move. Let me sit back and just watch. Like, it's so frustrating. And that is more frustrating for me, who's someone who's like, you always make the move. Like, it's, you make the move or the move gets made to you. And like, obviously this season it got made against me. Yeah, I think Meredith nails it here. Like, they're just being okay with, well, I'm the closest one. So like, I'll be the last one picked off. But like, does that mean anything? No. I don't know. It's super annoying to watch.
I'm sure it was even more annoying to watch from the jury. I don't even mean that as shade. I mean that as for real. Like, if I was a juror, like, I would be so annoyed. Like, it would just rattle my gears or whatever the saying is.
It's especially annoying given the 3 people in the jury at this point are Christian, Shane, and myself, who I think are 3 people who are more strategists than anything else. Like, I think that is a strong part of our games. And so to watch this, and it's not like the out group doesn't know they're on the out. Like, I think that's one thing. If you don't know you're on the out and you're trying to like play as if you're still in the know, you're not. But this group, like, everyone's talking about it. Meredith's talking about it with them. Like, y'all know you're on the outs and you're just okay with it.
Yeah, and like it's just funny because it's not even like if Meredith makes the flip, it's Meredith who has been in power for most of the game. It's not like it's some grand move from someone on the bottom flipping the game. It's if Meredith decides to do so.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, so we have Brandon and Patrick as the flowers this week. Basically, Patrick is debating between Abrielle and Lily, and Brandon is debating between Brady and Jessica. And Brandon really wants to keep Lily. I think he said it 5 times this episode.
Can I
I just
say
want to make sure
something about
Lily's
Brandon?
dear. Yeah.
It annoyed me with Brandon because he's like, I want a flower so I could show like where I stand in this game, and then his options are Brady or Jessica. Like, you're not showing anything. Like, I was just like, how are you gonna sit here and say like you're tired of like all this stuff and like you want to show where you're at and like who you're truly with, and then you put up Brady and Jessica who are on the very bottom of absolutely everything. Like,
What?
Yeah, I think this is the round where Brandon needs to put up Ross, in my opinion.
And that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's like Brandon talks about, oh, I wanted to put up Patrick, but he is in the greenhouse. Like, then go after one of his biggest allies. And Brandon's reasoning for not doing that, well, Ross gave me a seed last round from Brody's stash. Like, who?
Like, let's be
Good,
so
good on
hey,
proud.
you.
I'll take it and I'll
Good
use
on
it
you.
against
Like, you
you.
convinced him. Yeah. And because you know what? Now is the perfect time to do it because Ross didn't use the green thumb. Like,
Exactly.
if you're going to have to make a move, you have to do it when he doesn't use the green thumb. And if he feels safe every round and he's not going to use the green thumb, take advantage of it. Like, make the move, put him up, at least make him sweat. And, like, yeah, I'm sure in this case, he and Meredith, I don't know, maybe Meredith ditches at that point. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. And so, why not try?
Because if
Like, that might be
Meredith
the
is already
move.
like thinking about flipping and then you go and put up Ross, this is her out to do it. Because then she could be like, well, I just assumed everyone else was going to do it. So, like, I just voted him out too. And then, like, just
Right.
play that up to Patrick. So then it's, like, no blood on her hands because now he's going to be pissed at Brandon.
See, but I would just love it for TV purposes because, like, Patrick has already been, like, talking about flipping on Meredith. And I just feel like that would just, like, send him over the edge. And then, just imagine the TV from that. But, it's just crazy. I know we said we weren't going to talk about it, but like obviously we see at the end of the episode that Ross wins a flower. Well, not a flower, but he. Oh no, yeah, he does win a flower.
He wins a flower.
So literally at this point he's guaranteed top 5, which is wild. Yeah, I don't know why these people are not doing anything about it.
Also,
Yeah.
to speak to that, Edmund, this coalition of like after they let me go, which is fine. Like if Lily, Abrielle, and Brandon really thought like we can do this without Brody, we'll take care of it. That's fine. But like y'all do understand you'll have to win a challenge at some point, right? And that might be the least talented challenge performers of the season.
Oh.
Like have they won a challenge that wasn't just handed to them?
Abrielle just won them seeds, but that was at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and it's seeds. It's not even like, oh, she was 3rd place out of 5. Congrats. Or 4 out of 4.
Okay, again, not too much because when I did this challenge in season 3, I didn't realize that the things were hung up right outside the doors. So I literally go through the backyard, like jury's like chilling in the pool. They're just having a pool day. All the people that have been voted out, and I'm running around the pool. I'm running around like the back little house thing, looking for these posters. Just running around the yard, just around the property. To where, yeah, I didn't win shit, obviously, that round. But everyone's like, aren't you in a competition right now? And I'm like, I'm looking for the thing. And it's right in front of my face. So, yeah. At least, I'm glad, though, that they were, like, bigger grids this time. Because I'm pretty sure, like, the 2 seeds my season, it was, like, a 2x2 square. Like, it was literally 4 squares to memorize or
and
something
you still
like
didn't
that.
win?
He couldn't find him.
What's crazy is I actually almost did after I found it. But I think Brady snatched the seeds from me.
Season 3 is such a strong season.
Was that supposed to be shady?
Yeah. Yeah. If you almost won after running around the whole house, it says a lot.
Yeah, it says a lot about how like amazing I am.
Okay.
It's your birthday. We'll let you have one.
So we see. I want to get into this Abrielle and Patrick dynamic really quickly because
Yeah.
I think that's my thing about Patrick. I think he just gets kind of misted a little too easily. Um and I feel like Abrielle puts in some work with him this round and it kind of worked in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Yeah. So, like, I kind of want to go back before this round of it because it was like the last round of the night from day 2. You kind of see their
Yeah.
relationship like forming. And I was always like, okay, like this is like the end. Like this is how Abrielle's like gonna get in the group, and like if anyone's gonna flip, it might be Patrick. But then it just kind of like dies off because even the next day they have like a conversation, and then it's just done. But then like you see Patrick going, well, I'm probably just gonna nominate Abrielle because it's between these two, and like I never agreed to the safety deal, and I'm just like, I thought you were like semi working with her, but as I've said time and time again, one thing Abrielle's gonna do is talk, and she's gonna give you all the facts, and I don't know, like
It's
Patrick,
not
like
even
that's why I just
just
can't like support him. Like he's kind of like Brady, but like a little more strategic because he
it's
just be
not
flipping.
even it's like it's not even Abrielle just knows what to say to who when. Like that's what I love about her is she knows what to say when to people.
Yeah.
And some people don't know when to pick these little things out from their information bank to disperse. And I think that's what Abrielle is really good at when she starts to flip things in her favor. But Brody, I want to know your opinion on this because from what I remember in last week's podcast, I saw a little comment where you said Abrielle is overrated. So
Yeah.
speak on that.
And look, let me give Abrielle her flowers first, because I do think whenever she tries to convince people of something, she's usually very good at explaining herself and making sure she's understood. She might be the worst I've ever seen at getting an action out of it, though. Like, it means nothing if you're gonna. Like, I'm so tired of this Chicken Little BS that she keeps screaming over and over and over again. Because you know what? This guy's not falling. She's had 50 chances to do something about it, and she's just sat back and said, "I told you so." Well, you know what? "I told you so" doesn't win you votes, and
She is one person. It takes an
she's one
army
person.
to vote
Yeah,
people
but
out.
she let her whole army just go one after another.
And she's sitting there laughing, still in the game, and she's about to make it to the end.
You can laugh, but at some point, like, it, let's say, and I'm not gonna like knowing what happens. This is not spoiling anything, but like, let's say two of the three are Abrielle and Meredith at the end. I do not know what pitch Abrielle can make against Meredith to win.
Well, I don't think anyone can make a pitch against Meredith. Let's get
Yeah,
that
I was
clear.
gonna say.
Just fair, and that was going to be a question I had later. Was I think the two strongest players of the season. I kind of want to see your so up to this point season MVP.
Meredith.
Okay, we'll get that. We'll get that at the end. No,
Oh,
we'll get
I'll
that
have
at
to
the
change my
end.
answer now.
It's clearly Jessica. Anyways, moving on. So again, you guys brought it up earlier, but like kind of like there's like a one from each side going up on the block, which is crazy to me. I will say I'm glad I did predict Brady's placement. I did say he would be. I mean, I guess 4 numbers, but I got one of them. So, um, see, how do you guys think like with Brady acting going on the block this time compared to like the previous times he's been on the block? Because I feel like the frantic energy kind of comes out of Brady a little bit this round, whereas like before when he was next to Shane, when he was super like calm and like okay, like this is what's gonna happen. Like, what do you guys think about Brady's kind of? I felt like a shift in his energy this round.
I think it's the first time Brady was on the block and thought he had a legitimate chance of going home, like instantly. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think with the Shane round, I mean, it's an easy pitch that other people were making for Brady as to why Shane should go home over Brady. And this is the first round that Brady had to come up with a reason as to why he should stay over the person he was up against. Like he didn't have 4 people in his corner basically coming up with the strategy as to why he should stay, he had to explain it away. And as soon as he's tried to start explaining himself, I think it just fell apart for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we've said it best time and time again. Brady does his best block like pitches when he's tired. And I think the coffee was starting to kick in from the early round. And I just think he shouldn't. I I don't think he should have said that he would be okay going up in the first place. It's giving very
No.
Meredith coded, but Meredith would have been safe, and you would have not been. I don't know why at the final 8 you decide, yeah, I'll go up on the block. I don't care.
And I think if he really pushes back on going up on the block, I think Brandon's much more likely to at least consider Ross in that situation. Because
No,
I think
he would
the
have
end result,
Jessica.
I think he ends up putting Jessica up, but I think it at least forces him to start thinking about other options because you always go in with two. Like that's always kind of the thought process. You have at least two, ideally three, but two people in mind. If Brady fights back, I don't think Brandon has the fortitude to stand up to that and say no. Like I think if Brady really puts his foot down and says I don't want to go up, Brandon's just gonna be like, sure, it's not worth the fight.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't think Jessica would do a lot of fighting back either.
She'd just be like, oh, it's okay. It sucks being here, but she'll just have the good attitude about it, and then Lily would just go home at that point.
Well, and I think
Do you think?
I
I was gonna say,
think
do you think
Jessica's
Lily
a
goes home against Jessica?
Yeah. That's
I don't.
you don't think Lily goes home
I
next to Jessica?
Who has Rose this round? I think it ends up being a tie vote actually.
Brandon has Rose.
Brandon, yeah.
So I think there's a good likelihood Jessica goes home there with Brandon splitting it.
Yeah. Woulda, coulda, shoulda by Taylor Swift. You're welcome, Papa. I'll give you that one on my birthday. Anyway.
Thanks.
A generous king.
Yeah. Okay, what's the next note? I don't have it pulled up.
So we kind of see Patrick during his one-on-ones have a 1-with-2 with Brady and Jessica, and he's starting to throw the idea. I guess it's more of a group decide that maybe we need to turn on Ross and Meredith. But then they just kind of back out of it again, and it's just that's the thing with that group of people. How do you have such a dominant group with some outsiders, and then you're a part of the core dominant group, and you're pulling the two outsiders, and then you're going, actually, never mind, we shouldn't. I just don't.
Yeah, I think
this whole round was confusing.
I think as soon as you mention potentially doing something like that to other people, you either have to commit to it or you have to act like it was never said.
Because if you're in the situation now where Ross or Meredith catch wind of it and they go to Jessica and they're like, oh, I heard that you were going to turn on me. That's the perfect opportunity to be like, Patrick's the one that started the pitch of it, and I just went along with it. And then now that fucks Patrick. So it's just if you're going to say it, you need to put some actions in, especially when you're already in power. You have the nominating spot. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Edmund, thoughts on that?
You guys cleared everything perfectly.
And then we switch to the next conversation of Meredith going to Brandon and Abrielle separately, and then I think together. I'm not 100% sure if there was a together. But she's just these are kind of the people I want to try and turn to when she started her path of potentially flipping on her two closest allies, and then telling everyone about it. And Meredith had all the right points of being this is the time to potentially flip. These are the people I want to go to. That group makes so much sense for her. But then it's just twice in this episode, as between her and Patrick, which annoyed the fuck out of me. They both were I don't normally play like this. I can't turn on my allies. And then Patrick was like, "Oh, I'm like at a moral impasse or whatever." It's like, fuck your damn morals. It's Final 8. Like, we're in a game. I don't give a fuck. Like, you can play loyal, cool. If that's how you want to play, cool. But like, if you know this is a time that you should be making a move and flipping on your allies, do it. Like, they could be mad. Oh well, you might lose a vote. Cool. You gained the vote of everyone else. Like, ugh. Thoughts?
Who would you guys say is the MJ of the season that would get mad about getting blindsided? Brody, I don't know if you watched The Traitors, but
I did not. I've watched an old season of it.
Jessica. Because
I think it's Brandon.
Brandon? Yeah. Both of them. Just combine them.
Brandon, king of morals, lack of action. Jester of action. King of morals, jester of action.
Anyway, sorry, that was a little tangent. But the thing is with Meredith doing this, I think the only benefit to it is that Abrielle, if she gets back into a corner, she will, I think, easily pull that information out of her ass and use it against Meredith. So I feel like Meredith is trying to get ahead of it a little bit. I just think she should have waited a second. Because I don't see a world where Brandon like uses that as a way to throw Meredith under the bus. But I know Abrielle would probably do it if it meant saving her own ass. So I think like Meredith is thinking the right things because with this like heavy perception in the game, it's bound to be taken a shot at again. And she needs to set herself up for when that inevitable battle comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If y'all were Meredith in this case, which do you think is the more beneficial side to go with? Because I think there's perks to both.
I think it's I think it's more beneficial for her to probably go with Brandon and Abrielle here. Because I think that literally that move of saying, while everyone was pushing this 3, I formed this 3 and I flipped the game and I changed the outcome of everything. I had the control. That was my move.
On top
like
of
they
everything
needed
she's
me
done
to
prior.
Exactly. To where I feel like she's fighting for the same votes against someone like Patrick and Ross.
I will say, if she stays with the Patrick, like if she were to stay with like the Patrick and Ross like 3, and they do go and make a move on her, like she's just instantly gone, because now the other side is like, oh, they're like turning on each other, so let's just get rid of one now while we have the chance, because then we can potentially get the others later. Whereas if she flips and gets ahead of it, now it's not her, because now she'll be like, look, like I proved it, and now the other one's going to be after me. Let's just get the other one and then go from there. And we all know Meredith could win a competition. So if her back's against the wall, she could end up being a flower.
And I think Meredith's kind of in the perfect position. And I do think if she ends up trying to flip and go with the Brandon and Abrielle side, I think her better move in the moment would be to get out Lily to where there's a void there that needs to be filled.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I think she can do it in a way that Ross is not suspecting of her, to where she could basically get rid of Ross before he's a chance to use that green thumb if she really wanted to. And I think that is, if you're going to make a move against Ross at this point, that is the key, is that green thumb, which has been here for, I mean, he got it, what, round 2?
Yeah, something like that.
And people have just let it slide. And look, I'm one of them. I can't say too much, but like,
I think I asked this before. I'm not 100% sure. Does it expire? If so, when? Like, green thumb.
I think top 6 might be the last chance you can use it. I might be mistaken.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I asked before about it. Or maybe I asked if you could transfer it. It was one of the two.
It can be transferred. That is certain.
Okay.
Girl, I'll be like, hand me that green thumb real quick, unless you want your ass sitting on the block. Yeah.
You wouldn't do
Yeah.
that.
Pass it over, bitch. Pass
You'd
it
be a little
over.
nicer.
Well, yeah, I'd
And
like
then
kiss his ass.
yeah, then they'd be like, "Hey, fourth place."
Shut up.
It's nothing different than what he already got.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
Um,
Shane clarified in the chat. It is top six that it is the last round it can be used.
oh
okay.
yeah, I forgot that everyone plays top 5.
Uh,
Which that's even more frustrating because
Because now he can win Final
he's
5. Yeah.
yeah,
we'll get to
but
that.
See,
um,
but that's also my thing. It's like I think Meredith, her only competition is Ross at this point. I feel like in terms of winning a jury vote,
yeah.
unless it's gonna be like all the other Greenhouse seasons. I just hope that in All Stars a jury can look objectively and be like, this is who played the best game, unlike other seasons where a lot of the juries were super emotional and did not like the villainous strategic play, villainous in quotes, I will say. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I want a strategic villain to win. Like, it is long overdue. But yeah, I just hope this jury doesn't get super butthurt. I just think, like, if Abrielle gets to the end, like, I think she has a lot of. I know you said like she's preaching the sky is falling, but like
The sky
I
kind of did
feel like
fall.
if she gets there, she will be like, it fell and I picked it up and I told all of you. And now look, you're all in the jury and I'm here because I did something about it. Like, I feel like that's her like main pitch. Um,
No comment. Anyways, Meredith, you're the hero in my story. Ross is the villain. Um,
I
You're
don't know.
both villain.
Meredith, like villainous side is coming out. Because I think Meredith feels like she's not getting the credit she deserves. So you kind of see her get a little mouthy. And I think that's why she's kind of yapping too much.
oh, and I've been loving it. End of day 2, and then this whole time, Meredith is like, "Y'all better sit here and give me my credit because she is tired of Ross and Patrick getting all the credit for the moves that she has been behind and started every single time."
Like, I get if she wants to drop a seed like once or twice, but I just need her to not keep doing it over and over and over again because then, like, what's her strong push at the end if she's against those two? You know what I mean? I feel like if she's like, I told you guys earlier on that I deserve the same credit for these moves, and these are my facts about why these moves are mine, just as much mine as theirs. You know what I mean? But I feel like if she's trying to prove it every single round, people are gonna be like, whatever, Meredith. Kind of like how you are with the Abrielle stuff, Brody. But yeah.
And I will say on the Meredith topic, there's a moment in time, I think it's like a confessional of Patrick's, and he's like, Meredith started her jury management at the final 11. Like, Patrick, I'm glad that we understand when jury started. Like, I'm so glad that we understood like when jury started. Like, if you're not, like, you should know the past seasons. You basically have to pander to juries if you want to win because their feelings mean everything. Um, so why are you trying to like fault Meredith for something that you should also be doing?
Well,
I
and
mean,
Abrielle
yeah,
does,
literally.
and Abrielle does something similar where she like is like talking trash about like Ross and Meredith, like they're sticking together. Like I can't believe they're doing this. Like you can't be mad at people for actively making a good move and like just being powerful in a game. I don't know. I was just very frustrated by Abrielle in this whole episode because I'm tired of the preach to the choir narrative when you can make the difference. Like if Abrielle wanted to put her foot down at any given moment, she could help buy an uproot for someone and change the game. And she just like, oh,
And then her go home the next round.
See, but I
what?
think that's the thing is like when you're around, for example, I just feel like
Oh.
not even from her, but even people on the block, like they're not they're not pushing an initiative of getting this uproot. I just feel like these auctions have meant nothing. And it's so wild because of this groupthink, and we all have to talk everything out. And this is going to be the entire plan for the round, and that's how it's going to go. And then we'll move on to the next thing. Which cool, like talk out all your differences. But it's like, where is this shift throughout the round? The whole point of the auction is to flip the round to not cater to the flowers. Why are we sucking the flowers' ass? Stop pollinating.
I agree, Shane. But and Edmund, to speak to that, I do think a big part of that is both sides feel like the other side has more seeds. And so both sides like afraid to stand up when they think they're just not going to win it anyway. But that's, and look, I have no real room to speak of how I handled myself on the block. But like, make them burn a seed. If that's what you want to do, make them burn the seeds, and then the next round you actually have the ability to do something. Where if you're really worried about seeds, it's not going to change if you don't do anything.
I just like don't understand why there was no push to save you. I mean, granted that puts a target on Abrielle's back, but like you're still always going to be a bigger target in my opinion, and you can win competitions. And if she single-handedly saves your ass, like you're not coming after her. So I don't know.
I was last episode, and then we don't need to talk about the past
or whatever. But like I just yeah, I like
no,
I think
no, but I agree
because yeah. Hello.
Like everyone just stopped talking.
I'm freezing a little bit as well. So.
Okay. So I just like because Abrielle is like playing from the bottom, right? With this narrative that she's preaching, she needs to make some of these moves, and like I need her to make a move instead of just slithering by. Yeah, especially when she's been in power more than once and she goes with basically what she's told. So like I agree with you on that, Brody, in that sense with Abrielle's game. I just want to see everyone get a little more active. This is day 3. I am starting to fall asleep. I need to drink my Red Bull. But yeah, yeah.
And I just to take a little further into the episode, because I know we're kind of getting late in the episode here, but like I think Lily is continuously making, like I think Lily's had the best reads on day 3 of anybody, and I think she's less frustrated to Abrielle because she's not claiming that she knows it all. I guess that's why I'm not as frustrated with Lily, even though I think they're playing basically identical games and that there's all this talk and no action. But I think Lily backs off too easily. I think if Lily and Abrielle both did it together, it's a much bigger statement than if one does it and backs off and the other doesn't and backs off. It just doesn't feel the same to everyone else there.
Which, like, again, like, I understand that, like, Abrielle is trying to nurture her relationships moving forward, but it's like, Patrick literally just told you to your face, you are about to go up on the block. Yeah. So when Lily is your number one ally, why are you both not purchasing that uproot and making Patrick make a move he doesn't want to make and then flipping the game that way? Or even, like I said last round with you, it's just like, where is the movement? That's why I'm getting frustrated. Because it's all right there. And it's, yeah, I just think they're waiting to make the move until like 6 or like 5 when they have to. I mean, you don't want to use all your seeds then, but like, because you want them for Final Four. But I don't know. Yeah.
But the problem with that is, I think like at 9, the numbers lined up, and
right.
If I'm the first person, if I'm coming to you with a move in a game where I'm in, that's the last chance to do it, in my opinion. Like in the game, whenever I'm telling you something, that is in my thought process. I'm not going to you before you don't have another choice. Because if I'm coming to you, I'm making sure it's your last choice, so I have the logical argument to keep me. And if I'm the one coming to you, either make the move or have a better plan than me.
Yeah, I mean, it made the most sense for you in that sense. Essentially for you to ping pong, as you said earlier. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like people didn't really trust you.
And I think the screen helped.
Yeah. The screaming.
Did
One thing
not-
about Brady, he's gonna fight with a Schneider on the way back from the coffee house. I love Brady.
So let's get into
So
the noms,
yeah.
I think.
So yeah, obviously we see like Lily and Brady get up, and it seems like there's a push for Lily to go, but then Brandon says he doesn't want Lily to go, obviously. And
Which can we talk about that for a minute? Because why is he like, I don't want Lily to go this round, but she could go next round? What is the difference? Like, I get like, cool, you're getting out Brady, which is like on the other side, but like, what? Like, and why is that?
I mean, it's because like if Lily wins, like obviously like she's not gonna put up Brandon, right? But I think like we said, Lily can't win a competition to save her life. So I don't know. But
and I think Brady kind of approaches this round honestly perfectly in my brain. Like I know it doesn't work out for him, but he approaches it in the right way. He's just not good at executing because he kind of filled the role I wanted to do where he had the kind of middle ground and both sides needed his vote if it was a split nomination. To where I think it's the reason Brandon nominating Brady is wrong. Because I think I don't know if Brady was being honest or genuine when he was talking with everyone about like it's time to turn, like this is the time to make a move. But if that genuinely was his thought process, I think he probably could have ping ponged back and forth for a few rounds. He just doesn't have enough connections with people, and he's so sporadic with when he says what, with no kind of proof of what he's saying being true, that it's really hard to trust. And I think like he does something later in the episode where he goes to Ross. It's like, we got to get Meredith out next round. Like, it's just the lack of vision of and understanding of who's with who to make that move. Because I think if he really understood where those allegiances lied and who was tight with who, he probably could have stayed this round and been in a really, really good spot.
I think my issue with how Brady like was trying to do the back and forth was he was trying to do it so openly, and that like is what got, you know, Shane out. It's kind of what got you out. And it's just like if I saw two people kind of go back to back almost of like they were kind of being pegged as publicly in the middle, like I would be like in public, like I am like with this side, and then I would just secretly go to Abrielle and them and be like, yeah, like this is like for real the plan, or like even if he's lying about it, it's just like because he kind of got clocked, I think, the previous round of like, oh, Brady's starting to do the whole middle thing, and it's like he didn't deny doing it, but it's like if the cast keeps voting out the middle people like that, like stop doing that, like so outwardly, you know.
Well, and then is it so much the middle, or is it just the last three people to go were all people who were quote unquote working with Meredith, Ross, and Patrick, and they just didn't need them anymore? Like I can't tell if it's genuinely people who thought they were in the middle, or if it's just we don't need you. We're fine with you going.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I think Shane is the first one to preach. He was never really playing the middle. Like he was clear about which side he was on, which is why he was so like frustrated with why they all turned on him so easily. But it's because they didn't need him, and he had the ability to play the middle if he wanted to, even though he wasn't. So I think that's like what they were like threatened by. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I just think with Brady, it just kind of gave like he was throwing everything at the wall to see what stuck, to see if it would save him, to where I feel like he needed to be having those conversations before he was on the block. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if Brady's trust that he has in Ross, if he put it in me, I think he stays. And I think that was Brady's biggest mistake in the game, was because of Ross's preconceived like threat level before the game. I think he was viewed as much more trustworthy than me, and I think that kind of swayed Brady to trust Ross more than me.
which is wild to me. Can you imagine the alternate universe where the trusty shovels are the final four? Would love that.
Oh, that's my final four.
And Jessica wins.
Period.
Speaking of
Uh,
Jessica, I think
Okay.
I saw her like 3 times this episode. That might be a new record.
don't be doing Jessica like that. You know, she has it all figured out up here. She knows what she's doing. I could tell. That jury speech, phenomenal. I could already hear it.
Jessica even said, "Fuck this episode." She was really getting into the strategy. Like she was appalled at one moment.
I that's our next point. It's so funny because it's like you see Jessica and Avriel sitting down talking about like, oh, I heard that Lily was the main target first, and then after the noms, it was Brady, and then the other one was like, oh, I heard the opposite, and like just the confusion between both Jessica and Abrielle. They're like, oh my god, we're getting played. I'm like, y'all have kind of been getting played prior to this, but I'm glad we're seeing it more. Um, so them going upstairs and telling the people that are like kind of playing them that they're getting played was so funny to me because that whole like conversation at the start of it was so just like unserious for me. What are your thoughts on that?
Edmund, you go.
I'm gonna be honest. I like manically hungover watched last night's episode this morning, so I don't remember most of it. But um, can you use the question in a sentence?
Yes. So we were gonna get to that, Ross and Dylan, because I do think that's the moment of the episode where Jessica's like, "Brady, you gotta be prepared. And you're poor." Just straight up looking at his cup, which I would have thought would have helped Brady. Like, if people look in his cup and see he has 1 seed, that makes him even less of a threat, in my opinion. To where like I would now be pitching if I was in that group. I'm like, yeah, I'm Ross putting in the most iconic Jessica quote in the chat is phenomenal from season 2. Anyway, like if I see that he only has 1 seed, what threat is Brady? Like he wasn't a threat strategically. He wasn't all that much a threat socially. So, and he's not a threat money wise.
Yeah.
You think Brady's more of a strategic threat than a social threat?
I don't think Brady's a threat.
Okay. Um, but basically, I'll just pull this out of my ass. Like, I think it just goes to show what we were saying before. Like, why are like they're just sitting there and they're not doing anything about the fact that these people are running the game. And like, I get like you want to save shields. Like, I love a good meat shield. That wasn't supposed to be a sexual innuendo, but like I love a good shield, but it's just like there's a few too many right now because like Brandon's kind of gearing up now. He had a bit of a slow start, but like obviously
Okay.
Meredith, Ross, and Patrick. But like it's just like start making these moves, girls. You can't bring 4 meat shields to the end.
I don't think Brandon's a shield, but in your delusional world, it can be. Um,
Hey, not too much. I didn't say all that, but Brandon's
you
definitely
you just said that
that
he was.
Brandon. You're telling me that Brandon isn't starting to get better and better in the game.
He's not.
I
I
disagree
I
with
think
you.
I would agree with Edmund. I think his social capital in the game has definitely
It's
improved in the
growing.
last 2 rounds.
For
I
sure.
That being said,
How is he gonna win? Like, what is his pitch
that
to win?
that's the question that I have is like, okay, so your social capital grows, but does that mean anything if you're not going to be able to do and preach it?
Because his social capital was so good, and he's only still here because of Meredith. So that's another thing for Meredith. I kept all the people
Well,
that wanted
yeah,
to be.
yeah.
So it's not even like a plus for him. It's a plus for someone else. So that's why I just like cannot stand
But
behind
I
him.
think that's Brandon's whole thing. Like, I'm not backing him, but like, I think Brandon's more of a threat than say Lily or Jessica or Brady or even Abrielle. So like, it's like now was the time for Brandon to take advantage of the capital he's been building the past 2 rounds, and he flubbed it.
Yeah.
Agreed. Like I do think this was Brandon's perfect opportunity because I think he had the votes if he wanted to make the move. Like just the way
Mhm.
the greenhouse fell out, I think if he really wanted to, he probably could have.
For sure. Okay, next point.
So we're kind of like at the end where you have all the voters in the room and they're like, let's talk it all
Ciao.
out, which was so stupid. I don't understand why we have to all together sit down and discuss a vote when it's very clear that the sides are still siding, and like it really doesn't matter. Like this side is basically taking a loss either way, and Ross, Meredith, and Patrick are not shaking in their boots at all.
So with this, I wanna know your guys' opinion because obviously Abrielle has a connection to both of the nominees, right?
Yeah.
And she does say that Lily's her number one. Um, so you kind of see her basically flip this vote onto Brady, even though Lily was supposed to be the target. And she says, oh, because they're like, you have a relationship with Brady, I have a relationship with Brady, you have a relationship with Brady, you have a relationship with Brady. And then Ross is like, yeah, so let's keep him. And then Abrielle's like, no, that means we should get rid of him. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, she's smart to say that because it just like going to the end, it's like if you're gonna sit on the block next to someone, do you want to sit on the block next to Lily or do you want to sit on the block next to Brady? When it in terms of who trusts who fully, and if everyone's sitting here saying, "Yeah, I trust Brady," like I'd be scared shitless to sit on the block next to him, considering he stayed twice already, and now everyone's saying that they're really
More
good
than
with him
twice.
or have like a relationship with him. Like goodbye. Like I don't need you. Like because like Ross has numbers already, so like he could afford to lose a few.
Yeah, and I think Ross made a I don't know. It seems like a stupid move by Ross to just be like,
I
whatever y'all
agree.
want to do, I'm just gonna go with it. Like y'all decide. Like, no, you have the majority here, and your vote actually makes a difference. If you like, I think is an objectively better move to get out Lily. So make the move and get Lily out. Like, and I think
Put your foot down. Like,
yeah, and I'm so tired of everyone like everyone's so afraid to piss everyone else off, both in the majority alliance and out of it, honestly. And
Because they're
like,
fighting for those jury votes that they know that all are going to be on the jury.
but at some point you have to be like you have to stand out, and if everyone's just kissing ass 24/7, no one stands out except for the people actually making strategic moves.
And that's why
right.
it's like
And I
getting so
think
stale.
Yeah, I think that's why I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier that like with this being all stars, I hope the jury can objectively look at if I stand out and I make a move and maybe I lie to your face, I hope you at least understand why I did it compared to like a normal season jury or like the past juries. Um, but yeah, I just think Ross is flaming out. I think he set himself up really nice and now he's just kind of riding the wave that he set up for himself instead of still getting active. Where like you see Meredith,
I was saying the
where
people left in the game, Shane.
where
They're all the feelings people, not the first three.
like you see Meredith riding this wave, but she's making it a tsunami. Like Ross is just letting it run to shore in a low tide. I don't know where I was going with that like
That
metaphor,
was kind
but
of giving.
I think you guys understand what I mean.
Well, and then another argument that's made like throughout this episode is
She didn't lie. She did not
she
lie.
didn't lie,
I just think
but
day three has
but
not been
Ross is
strong for us.
but Ross is very good at convincing you that while it's someone else's decision, he makes you believe that he was a big part of it. Like I will give Ross that credit. Like in the moment, I like not watching it back like day of when I go out, I'm thinking Ross and Meredith are like equal. They're equally making moves. Like they are level at this point.
Yeah.
I think it's just
But I
because
think
Ross is really good at like making it seem like he's in power. Because like you look and it's every time they make a group decision, it's like Meredith kind of running the group decision, like Flytrap, and like when Ross got the green thumb, it was Shane. So it's like he wants to be like the forefront, kind of like when night one you were like, oh well, I'll just take the Flytrap, it's okay, like I'll put the target on my back. Like that's what Ross is giving right now.
yeah, I mean, I just because like my thing is like, and Ross, I know you're watching, like no shade, but it's like, does Ross think he is like a strategic guy, or does he preach the social game? Like if Ross gets to the end, um, like theoretically, like do you think he sits there and he preaches that he was super strategic and he pushed all these moves, or do you think he's aware that and he pushes the fact that he was very social and he had those relationships and like that was the highlight of his game?
Based off of him sitting down sometimes and being like, I'll let you guys decide the vote, I think he's going to say strategically, like, I knew I could do that because, like, I had all this capital and I had all these moves that I didn't need this one vote to matter. And he's going to get clowned is if that's what
Well,
he's
I think
pulling out
that's
at
my
the end.
question is like, do you think he preaches something that's kind of delusional and doesn't align with the
Yes,
perception?
for sure.
See, I kind of think it's the opposite of what Papa said because I think he's going to be like from the exact same situation. Like I thought you were going the other direction. I think he's going to be like I I was always like in their court, always convincing people that like whatever move they make we're good. Like we're all on the same team. Like I'm just the social stud of this season. Like that's what I think he's going to pitch if he makes it to the end. Because I mean I think that's really I mean, I think that's what he should pitch at least, because I think that's where he shines more than his strategy. I think his
For
strategy
sure.
he pulled from Meredith and myself.
Just
All
yeah.
right.
Pull up the Patrick sneak. Pull up the Patrick sneak. um,
uh,
yeah, poor Patrick. Like he's got the goods. I don't. He just is missing something. Um,
A game.
but
That's what he's missing.
well, I do want to talk about Patrick very briefly because I do think he's starting to identify that he doesn't have a win condition at this point.
Well,
And
Mama, you're a little too late.
and maybe it is, and it's kind of what I want to talk about is he too late? Because I do think him having these thoughts in his head is more than most people have done. Like at least he's in a position to where he's safe enough to do something about it potentially, I think. To where I don't think Abriel or Lily necessarily is. I think there's any given moment they can go home where I think Patrick is insulated enough due to his relationships with Ross and Meredith to where if he can convince two other people to join him, he has the ability and capital to do something about it.
So are you saying like
yeah, but like I don't.
behind the scenes make the move, or like he gets the flower and then makes the move? Because like though I think two different outcomes come from those.
I don't think it matters. I think either way, like you just
I
have to
think if
make a
he
move.
publicly he is a flower and makes the move against Meredith or Ross, he's gone next. Because he'll have the social capital for one round to get that person out because they all want one of those people out. And now he's just stuck on the bottom with the other person that he left here. But if he could work it to where it seems like he could play it all behind the scenes and get that side to do it and he's in on it and it's a unanimous vote, then he could run back to the other side and be like, oh my God, like whoever stays. And he's like, I didn't know that was going to happen. Like, I just didn't want to like vote you out. Like, that's why I voted out the other person. And then he could play the flippy floppy one at the end.
I think what Patrick wants to do is what Meredith is executing right now. So
Yes.
I'm not that impressed by Patrick right now. And like, do I think he could do what you're saying, Brody? Yes. Like, I think that's what he should do. I just think Meredith is beating him to the punch, and Meredith has more social capital to actually pull it off. I don't, like I said earlier, if Patrick makes some move, I don't think he has the backing to support himself if his closest allies flip on him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he flipped on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do have to say kudos though, just for at least thinking of it, because at this point, that's the best gameplay we're going to get outside of the other two. So
yeah, I really don't mean to be a bitch, but I'm just bored with some of these players, and like I'm so sorry. Like, I want a bloodbath. This is all stars. Like, I don't think you people realize like how gutted I am that I could not play this, and like now watching it, I really want to see the best of the best. You know what I mean? Because not saying like I'm the best, but I'm saying like since I couldn't experience it, I want it to be a great experience to watch. You know what I mean? So like,
And then if you play in All Stars, you're getting Shane's placement.
Oh,
well, like I'm definitely not making it anywhere near as far as I did the first time. I mean, I think that was my whole thing is like no one knew, like, because I can play
Even a
drum
blind
really
squirrel finds a
well.
nut.
Well, I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not going to. But like I think that was like part of the thing about like going into season 3 is like I didn't know absolutely anybody. So it's like so easy for me to like be ditzy. Like that's like my bit. You know what I mean? But like people don't realize how smart I am. To where it's like now if I went back in, people would have been like, oh, it's fucking Edmund. You know what I mean? But anyways, I digress. But yeah, anything else we need to talk about before we get into our double MVPs?
I do want to talk about one last thing, and it's everyone keeps saying, and I think I heard it 3 or 4 times this episode. I haven't lied. Like I'm so trustworthy. I don't get what that pitch means. Like, why is you not lying a good thing? Like, why does that make me want to trust you more? Like, I would almost prefer if you lied for me and for our alliance.
I think it's just because everyone wants to play like a clean, nice game, and lying is like perceived as being this like very bad thing. And if you lie too much, you're not gonna win in the end, just based off of the winners so far. So I think they're all afraid to lie and say that they're lying because they're gonna be targeted. Because then everyone's just gonna go in a spiral of, oh my god, what did they say that was a lie?
Okay, hold on. I want you to pull up Dylan's little comment. And yeah, the best usually is pretty boring to watch. Like season 2, The Brody Show. But I still enjoy watching it because it's the good gameplay, right? But it doesn't like the best doesn't always have to be bloody, but me as a viewer, I want to see better
In All
TV.
Stars,
Like All Stars, it's easy because everyone's smart and everyone knows the game, and like it's easy to just break it and
yeah.
not like, but you know what I mean by break it, like talk everything out and like set everything up. It's just like I just want a little like 1-2 punch, like give me something to be like on the edge of my seat for. Because really the only thing I'm on the edge of my seat for now is who wins these competitions. Because the entire plan is fledged out in the 10 minutes after the competition, and then it's just a bunch of useless talking. Because you kind of see things shift how they're going to Meredith in your favor. Which Meredith, I give you kudos. I don't know if you can tell by me kissing your ass all podcasts all season, but like at this point, I'm not voting for anyone besides Meredith. I mean Ross, but with how Ross has been playing this last day, he needs to gear it up, especially with his installation with his green thumb and all that shit. Yeah,
like the possibility that I just thought about, which I don't think Ross would do. But Ross knows for sure he is in the greenhouse back to back. If he is smart enough to be like, maybe like now is the time to make the move, even if it's against one person in his group, he could do it. And then
baby, pull up his comment. He just said we're gonna get 1-2 punch. So I'm ready, girl. I'm ready. Get in the ring, Ross. Get in the ring.
I hope people wake the fuck up.
If let's say Ross does do that next week, and I know we're talking hypotheticals now, but let's say he turns and he's not able to get Meredith, like he doesn't want to do Meredith, but he gets Patrick out. Is that enough for Ross's game to like rival Meredith at this point in y'all's brains, or no?
If he goes after Patrick, that's stupid. He needs to go after Meredith if he's going to go after someone, but I think he is like completely loyal to Meredith because Meredith is driving this strategic train.
And if he flips on his group and just gets out Meredith, now Patrick's going to be like, oh my god, like I'm indebted to you even more because you kept me, like you were flipping,
and
it
he's
was
already been talking about. Yeah, but it's also it's a test on Ross's read on the game. Like, can he tell that Patrick really doesn't care for Meredith as much anymore and realizes her position
And
to
that
where he's like,
Meredith is the
okay, I made the
bigger
move for
threat.
us, so now it's just us bros. And
Lord.
yeah, so anyways, I feel like we're talking in circles now. But Brody, thank you for joining us. One last thing I want to get from you is your round's MVP. And I want you, actually, never mind. Your round's MVP from watching the show.
I'm gonna. It's between two people, one of which you would agree with probably, and one of which y'all gonna hate. I think it's between Abrielle and Patrick, believe it or not. And I'm actually gonna. I think I'm gonna give it to Patrick for trying to start the movement. Like, I think, and maybe it's just because I'm starved for good gameplay, and so I'm like just ready for something to happen. But I don't know. I feel like Patrick is finally starting to get some roots to where he's not. I don't think at this point he's the Brandon Lily Abrielle's first target. I think he's set enough roots in for that, and I think he's kind of pretty protected to where he. I think he just set himself up to where he's able to do something if he wants.
Okay.
Matthew?
I'm gonna counter kind of everything he just said. If we're talking about starting to try and make a move against his side or their side, Meredith has been doing that too. And you're saying Brandon ain't gonna go after Patrick after he wanted to go after Patrick this round, but Patrick was safe? Okay, girl. You know who no one's coming after? Meredith. The one that was going after Meredith was
Patrick.
Brady and Patrick.
And Patrick's, no. I'm going to stop all you in your tracks. This round's MVP is Brandon. Because he got a flower, he got his target out, and he literally publicly professed how he wants Lily to stay. She stays even though she was the target.
No, ma'am. It's Meredith.
I'm going to say Brandon.
It's Meredith.
I'm going to say Brandon. I think I think Meredith is just doing what Meredith does. So it's like, I don't know.
And that's why Dylan's my favorite. Thank you very much.
No, Dylan's Delulu.
Oh, okay.
But I don't like. Do I like the gameplay from Brandon? Not a lot, but do I think he executed his move? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fair argument.
Sure. Okay.
There's a gas leak somewhere. Yeah, girl. It's a Red Bull I'm chugging.
But Brody, you brought up season-long MVP, so you could start since that was kind of your little idea.
Yeah, and I'll say it from my standpoint, like not having. I guess I'll say it from having watched the episodes, and not my position in the game. It has to be Meredith. I mean, I think she has so many inroads. I think she has the right ideas just about every round. I mean, has she played perfectly? No, I don't think by a long shot. But at the same time, I think she's really insulated in a way that Ross isn't. I mean, I think she's just insulated, and so even if you want to give them equal credit for the moves, which I think is a fair argument if you really want to, I mean, I disagree with it obviously, but I think you could make the argument. She's way more insulated than Ross ever could be at this point, and so in that sense alone, I think you have to give it to her.
Yeah, I think my season-long MVP, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, Meredith. She, from second one, was playing. I mean, she gave a seed for Christian to uproot night one, and she's been playing since. And she's had her little moments where she's had her shady, like, I'm not going to work with you anymore. And she's been loyal to her group, and she's made moves both outwards and behind the scenes. And I don't know. I would be very afraid to sit next to her at the end.
Yeah. Again, echoing. It's not even like season long MVP. I just think it's series wide MVP. Seeing Meredith come into season one and basically be the target from day one, and I mean, it was all for
I
one day.
was like,
You guys get
it
it.
was just one day.
But like seeing her go on this crazy immunity underdog run arc, for her to come into here and show that she's really like fine-tuned herself as a player, and she hasn't had to rely on these competition wins to get by and to have capital and to be able to
Brody,
pull off these moves.
Next
Continue.
next game's mine.
Continue.
But like, because like I will say, I didn't watch Meredith's Big Brother season. Matthew, I know you watched it.
I watched around.
I didn't. Oh, I thought you watched all of it.
No.
But so I didn't watch all that. I think it goes back to earlier what I was saying about Brady. Like I think he needs a little time to cook, and I think Meredith has been cooking, and I think she's found her groove and how to kind of maneuver and take advantage of her play style. So I would agree. I think Meredith is the season MVP so far.
For sure.
Any other last thoughts to boost up Mother Meredith?
No, this cast. I mean, can we get some real all stars next time? Because they fucking suck.
Oh,
Who?
you heard it here first. If you're gonna be on All
Gotta
Stars
finish the way I come
2,
in.
be a real
Are
All
you-
Star.
I mean, I think Brody will make sure he ends up on All Stars 2 as well somehow, and then you can be like you're like the series Jujubee, like you'll get to the end but you'll never win.
Wow.
Do you even know who Jujubee is?
Yes, I watched some drag, just not a lot.
There's some drag. No, I but yeah, I'll see you on All Stars 2, Brody.
Oh, not the pre-gaming already. Taylor's
Are you gonna are you
Lock
gonna
it.
target me first?
No comment.
Oh! He's gonna fly trap me night one after he
Oh.
gaslights his way into getting power again. Okay, Brody, last thoughts on the season so far, your standpoint as a juror, your game, anything?
No, I think ultimately so far it's been a really good season. I think as much as I'm disappointed with some of the play as of late, I think people have been playing well, and I do think it's a cast of all stars. So as much as I like talking shit about my cast mates, I do think this was a good cast and that everyone there was deserving. So props to them, and props to those who are still in, because I think a lot of really, really strong players aren't there still. So
Yeah, I just want to echo that. Like, I know we've been talking a lot of shit about the gameplay. Yeah, we are backpedaling. I just want to make sure that we are very grateful to even have this season. Very grateful for Taylor Luke for hosting this and bringing all of our crazy asses together. And me as a viewer, yes, I love to bitch and complain, but am I still tuning in? Yep, just like all of you should tune in every Sunday and Thursday at 8 p.m. 7 Central at the link down below. Brody, thank you so much Claire's husband, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, we will see you guys next week for an all new episode of
Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night, a special episode. And we will see you guys.
Not a special episode. That
Yeah,
guest
because
ain't
it's on a
special.
Thursday.
That guest ain't special. And he'll watch it later. Anyways, bye.